Hi, this is a review of the ordinary trading system activity for November 15th, 2021. We had 10 trades on that day, 8 were buys and 2 were short sells. First trade is GGAL. It's Grupo Financial, Galati SA, tripped at 12:13 p.m. price of 11:36. It was a buy. Closed today at 11:39, down 1.43%. No change in the morning here. We'll check to see. I have 23rd, so 12:20. So quick right around here. So around 1:16, it came down again. So from 12:24 to 12:24 to 1:16. So that's 3/4. Sorry, it's about half. It's about 3/4 of an hour here. That was almost triple price on a regular basis. It did come up here a bit above Okay, so if anything, right after the tripping time, there was an hour almost of time activity where it moved consistently above the tripping price, which makes this a positive. And quick look at the indicators to see what they say. Yeah, volume shows it here where it came up and then came down and moved sideways. MACD came up and then just came down afterwards, so at least it did that. DI, same thing, came up and somewhat moving back and forth in the afternoon. And other band, same thing, came up, down a bit after it came up and then moved sideways. So technically that stock did move upwards, but most part the end of the day, excuse me, most part the end of the day it was moving sideways. Next trade is ACRX. That's ASOLRX Pharmaceuticals. Tripped at 12:56:33 p.m. The price is 77 cents. It was a buy. Closed the day at 74.61, down 6.08%. It was down 4.23%. So let's see what's going on with that one. 56. Okay, so okay. So roughly around 136 and 12:56, and 12:56 to 1:36, so it's half an hour, almost 40 minutes where it was above its triple price on a regular basis. I know it's only a fraction of a cent, but we're talking about penny stock here. So that's a positive, even though you can see the afternoon period, it looks like it reverted and went negative again, since the stock was negative from previous close. Yeah, you see here, volume came up in the afternoon where it tripped, and it came down, and the day moved down. MACD, same thing, came up, moved down. Well, MACD not too bad. It's, when it did move down a bit, it still moved sideways, so it was moving down. DI, though, interesting look. It came up a little bit during its tripping price, but right afterwards, during the afternoon period, you could see, jumping back and forth, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. That basically showed a sideways movement almost, but Bollinger Band is showing actually was a little bit more negative than positive, and actually pushed it down again. So at the end of the day, it actually moved down. So that stock technically ended its day moving negative. Next trade is AI. And that's C3AI. Picked up 1:05:44 p.m. at a price of 48.70. It was a buy. It closed day 48.28, up 2.14%. It was up 0.43% for the morning here. price. So from 105 to 130, that's 25 minutes where it was above its triple price on a regular basis. So that to me indicates possibility, well not possibility, indicates positive opportunity there. And volume-wise, yeah, you see it came up a bit and reverted in the afternoon and then stabilized late afternoon, mid to late afternoon. MACD same day. MACD actually showed okay. MACD averages came up, stayed up, tripped, and moved down a little bit and then moved sideways. DI, you can see it tripped here and then bouncing back and forth. You can see DI is showing that the stock was somewhat negative, oil positive. And Bollinger Band, same thing. It came up this little bit of peak here where it tripped and then just moved sideways. The stock ended the day moving sideways. The next trade is BLFK. That's the big charging company. Tripped at 1:02 p.m. price of 42.11 and it was a buy. It closed the day at 46.85, up 17.10%, and down 5.0%, so offset each day, and gained a lot during this trading period, so that's another positive. Check the indicators to see how they look. OBB, so it actually tripped here and came down a bit at the mid-afternoon period. Is where it came up and stayed up. So MACD same thing, tripped here, down a bit in the afternoon, and end of the day, or late afternoon to the day, it moved up. DI same thing, moved up. Bollinger Band and then moved up. So the stock definitely going in the day was moving up. Next trade is CGC. And that is Canada Growth Corporation, took the 143 to the other price of 14.90. It was a buy, closed at 14.45, down 5.37%, up 0.90% in the morning here. So let's see if there's any opportunity here. 120. You see it tripped, it was up maybe a couple of periods during the 20 minutes afterward, but not consistently. So I can't say that's a positive. So let's see what the indicators are saying. OBB back and forth, came up, so somewhat moving positive. MACD showing somewhat positive. DI though, DI showing that it's basically negative. Bollinger Band show basically is declining negative. So we have a discrepancy here on the indicators, some positive, some negative. Bollinger Band is good because it basically is representation of price activity, and the price itself just happened to be that it tripped a little bit in the middle of the afternoon, or early afternoon I should say, but even that wasn't enough to keep it up. It was still moving negative, so that means that's a negative. That was no possibility. I was talking about they moving negative anyways. Next trade is HGG. That's Chang Incorporated, tripped at 2:45:07 p.m. at a price of 29.45. It was a buy. Closed the day at 29.31, down 0.37%. There's not 0.17% more here. 245. So roughly around here. Unfortunately, while right afterwards it was bouncing back and forth, it actually stayed below the triple price. It didn't really come up, so there's no opportunity there. No possibility there just because the stock kind of like hit a ceiling and then wasn't able to maintain it. OBV's okay, it's showing a bouncing back and forth, and here the afternoon, it stayed somewhat positive. MACD is not too bad, it stayed positive. DI positive a good portion of the day, and the afternoon was positive, a little bit negative, and then moved positive again, so the day was moved positive. The morning band, same thing, up, down, up, down, up, down, and right in. The stock, the indicators are showing positive direction, even though there was some negative movement there, but it still looks like it was moving more positive negative, so I'm going to say that's a positive just because the indicators are showing somewhat more of a positive movement. Next trade is CAG. That's Conagra Brands Incorporated. It tripped at 2:55:18 p.m. at a price of 32.16. It was a short sell, and surprisingly enough, at the end of the day, it's up 32.30, up 0.16%. And stable here on the morning, so you can see the stock here. Okay, so here, I caught it here. We're moving down, 32.16. So from around 255 to 340, we're talking almost an hour where it was down below triple price. And we just happened to catch it that it went down, it hit a bottom trench, and then recovered. But again, it was down there for a good period of time, so that's another positive. Check the indicators. Yeah. Here is this drop in the recovery, MACD drop and AC recovery, DI drop recovery. The stock ended the day positive, even though we thought it was on a downward trend. Next trade is SPLK, and that's Splunk Incorporated, tripped at 3:15 p.m. a price of 137.26. It was a buy. 137.06. It closed the day at 137.38, down 18.14%, and it's up 0.85%. So it actually recovered here after early morning here and above the tripping price. So that's interesting. The stock obviously opened down because it basically moved sideways. 315. We caught it here. So just before, like from around 3:15 to like 3:50, that's 40 minutes roughly. It was above its tripping price on a regular basis. So it was positive. You can tell though the stock activity itself wasn't drastic. So it's somewhat a bit of a question mark about how possible that one was. But again, it was up above its tripping price for 40 minutes or so. Volume is showing push up at the end of the day. MACD came up, down, it came up, so the day moving down. DI showed came up all day, and the stock ended the day moving positive, so the stock technically was moving positive. Next trade is CL, and that is Colgate-Palmolive Company, tripped at 3:15 p.m. at a price of 78.12. It was a short sell. It closed the day at 78.30, up 0.35%. It was stable over there, no change. So that's interesting. So it came down here. So it roughly came down here, but it recovered right afterwards. It basically hit a floor and then recovered, and the tripping price actually was at that floor. So just see if there's any opportunity there. OBB in the day when it tripped was down, MACD was down. Ooh. Well, technically MACD came up and moving a little bit downwards at the end of the day, but MACD is showing that the average is moving up, DI showing moving up, so the stock ended the day positive. So that's another negative. So that's not good. Okay. Next trade is FTCH. And that's far-fetched Libertate. Tripped at 3:30:06 p.m. with a price of 46.13. It was a buy. Close date 45.91, down 0.99%. It was up 0.22% here in the morning. 3:30. It dropped right now. So again, it hit a ceiling and then dropped. We'll see if there's a possibility there. Volume looks good, averages look good. DI looks okay, even though a little bit negative today, it's still moving positive, a little bit bad, moving positive, a little bit of a drop at that closing. But the stock itself is moving positive for most part of the day. So the Bollinger Band showing positive, DI showing positive, MACD showing positive. The stock, I'd say, is possible just because the amount of activity the indicator is showing in a positive direction. Okay, that's 10 out of 10 stocks. 6 out of 10 were positive, which is 60%, and 8 out of 10 were possible. That's 80%. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.